I want to take a second to talk to you about one of the biggest difficulties that we live with in this world today, and that is a lack of integrity. Now, I know it can sound harsh like that to talk about a lack of integrity, and that would be everyone's issue. But when you begin to look into what we do on a day-to-day basis and what's expected of us to be done and what we are shamed on by not doing, for instance, then you see that it's really hard to live from a place of integrity. And really, I think it hit home for me when I was working with the participants in my program, and we were speaking more on the subject of hormones and hormonal imbalances that are so common, especially amongst women, but actually amongst everyone, because obesity, stress, and all of that are all actually linked to hormonal imbalances. It's not just the imbalanced sex hormones that are an issue today. And what we come to realize is that it's not a difficult equation in order to have balanced hormones. What is difficult is to actually allow ourselves to live in the right way for our hormones to be happy. And so that comes down to integrity. Because actually, when we talk about self-care and self-love, we, well, first of all, tend to misunderstand it and think that it's a question of pampering, for instance, and having that much time for yourself so that you can just lay and relax and eat chocolates on the bed. It's not that. But then also we have a tendency to put a lot of shame onto the need of self-care. I remember distinctively a conversation that I had with my parents actually many years ago, when this was kind of like a new terrain for me. So I was discussing it with them, and from their point of view, so from their generation's point of view, I have to say, what I was expressing as being something of taking care of oneself, they said, well, for us, we were taught that that is being selfish. And so there's something really deeply ingrained inside of us that taking care of yourself first is selfish and therefore frowned upon, and you're shamed for doing it. Which is why we end up, depleting ourselves instead by trying to take care of everyone else's needs first. Not so much because we're so altruistic, but because it makes us also feel good that we care more for others than ourselves. But the truth of the matter is, of course, like the airplane mask theory, put your own mask on first before you tend to your children and other people. Because in the airplane, if there's an incident, you will not be able to actually put the mask onto your children and then put your own mask on. You probably don't have enough oxygen for that. So in order to be able to help your children and not die, you need to do yours first. And it's exactly the same thing when it comes to taking care of our health. All right? And another thing is very true here, and that is, if we start to look into what our habits are, what our different routines are in life, the things that we do when we do them, what we eat, when we eat, and we go really into detail about them, we begin to notice as well that actually many of these habits and routines don't really come from us. They come from the people that we are surrounded with, right? And they might not suit us. But because of this idea that it's selfish to take care of yourself first, we don't actually listen to the inner voice of what do I actually really need. And really, where does that come from? It comes from survival instinct. Because of course we will have a tendency to want to belong to the group. And there's a fear in, if I don't do what the group is doing, i.e. the people around me, or maybe even just one person around me or many, then I might be excluded from the group. I might be rejected. And so there's so many levels of this not wanting to take care of oneself first that we really need to look into before we start to, you know, put ourselves down for lack of integrity. But it is a question of integrity. Can I live? Do I have the capacity to live my whole life focusing each moment on integrity? What is it that I need right now? Is this actually what is the best thing for how I feel right now? Because you know what you need right now, what you feel that you are lacking of, you don't need me to tell you. You're actually capable of feeling that yourself. Now, there's two things here. One of them, we don't allow ourselves to do it. And the second one is many of us have become so disconnected from that that we don't even really know how to read those signals. All right? So this is actually the main reason I created the program. So the program Nourish, Balance, Thrive really is about connecting again to that deep place inside of you where integrity lies always. Letting that come to the surface. And doing that will make you feel all the things that you want to feel. Will make you feel energized. Will make you feel wonderful, beautiful, sleeping well, clear-minded. And when you actually experience, because that's the thing about human beings, is that we need to experience something in order to really integrate it, in order to believe it. You know this to be true. There's so many things that you know in theory that you don't really integrate because you haven't experienced it. But when you then experience it, it becomes all of a sudden much easier to trust that inner voice, which is actually whatever you want to call it, spirit, soul, your authentic true self, telling you in each instant, what is it you need right now? And that is integrity. Now that's hard to do when the people around you are not doing it. I know that because, as I said just a few moments ago, we don't really have our own routines and habits. We have the ones that the people around us have. And it's the reason that the program is made in a way to work one-on-one with me, also individually, you, and in a group with like-minded people. So that's the beauty of, since the pandemic, we've become accustomed to work online. And so it's the beauty of being able to do this no matter where you are in the world, no matter what your schedule looks like, right? I had last time people in all ages, in completely different surroundings and life situations, being capable of dealing with this anyway, all right? If you're interested in knowing more about this, you can simply DM me. You can send me an email at charlotte@yogisha.com. And you can also tap into the website where I have just the landing page for the program and get some more information from there as well. Finding your inner voice that speaks your integrity is the road towards feeling your full potential.